Time now for the Nick Hart Show, our weekly chat with the head coach of the Gibson Southern Titans, Nick Hart. The show is presented by the Gibson Southern Football Boosters and brought to you by A&B Contracting, LLC, AgriGold, Best One Tire, Chips, SellMyTees.com, Cox Family Eye Care PC, Daylight Land Management, Du Bois County Garage Doors Incorporated, Duke Energy, Elite Insulation, Emerson Cattle Company, Fort Branch Dairy Queen, Foster Construction, Gerald and Trudy Bledsoe, Snap-on Tools, Grant Rydens, Hilliard Lyons, Ignite Heating and Air, in loving memory of Zach Bailey, in memory of Darwin and Eric Callis, Julia's School of Dance, Kissel Farms Incorporated, Eleanor Off-Road of Owensville, MyTech Systems, Pegram Concrete LLC, Princeton Auto Park, Pro Rehab, Progressive Health Rehabilitation and Orthopedic Associates, Reinbrecht Homes, Right to Bear Arms, Rogers Bit Service LLC, Sandy's Pizza, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, South Gibson Grain, Sin Energy Partners LLC, Trapping and Removal of Animal Pest, 10 Barge Seed, TYFL, Vertical Tile Incorporated, Hobb Range Hood Company, Ziliac Enterprises, Beatles Towing, First Bank of Princeton, Johnson Commercial Mowing, Make Your Mark, Mayflower Gardens and Gifts, Martin's Auto Service, Kathy Solman Photography, Scheller's Carriage Inn, United Fidelity Bank, and by Wabash Valley College. The Nick Hart Show, presented by the Gibson Southern Football Boosters, starts now on 89.1 The Bash.
Welcome to the Nick Hart Show. I am Bob Bowser, and joining me is head coach of the Gibson Southern Titans, Nick Hart. And coach, your Titans are now 6-2 overall and 5-1 in the Pocket Athletic Conference after defeating Tell City on Friday night 57-12. And I realize right now everybody's expecting us to be talking about the playoff pairings that happened this past weekend. But yeah, we still need to talk about this game and week number 9 coming up. So let's take a look at the team and individual stats from the win for the Titans. Starting out first off, on offense, the Gibson Southern Titans had 479 yards of total offense, while Tell City had 157. Rushing yards, Gibson Southern had 304 rushing yards, Tell City 158. Passing yards, 175 for the Titans. How do you get a -1 passing yard?
We blew up some of those shovel passes.
Oh, okay.
They lost some yards on those.
Well, because Tell City ended up with -1 passing yards. Good for the defense. Turnovers, though. 1 turnover for the Titans, 1 too many. And I'm certain you and the coaching staff will be addressing that. 2 for Tell City. They had 2 turnovers. And some things that we don't talk about all the time, but I'm going to bring them up because it's things that you talk about. What makes the difference between an offense being successful and not? On third down conversions, your ball club was 9 for 13, nearly 70% on the night. But yet on fourth down, and I'm going to give you a chance to be the coach here, go off a little bit. 1 for 4, 25%.
Yeah, I don't even remember going for it 4 times.
You got to take the good with the bad.
I don't even remember going for it 4 times. But, I thought third downs were very good. But what was important was to win those third downs, and we kind of talked about this before, when we haven't been good on third down, we were in good situations on third down. Not often were we in 3rd and 10. We were in 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, and you have a lot more options on 3rd and 3, and it's obviously a lot easier to get. But a big third down conversion on the first drive. Brady hit Adam May on a little sit route. Big third down was like 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. Kept that first drive alive. But yeah, we were very good on third down. But again, I thought we were good on first and second down and put ourselves in a good position on third down.
Well, and of course, penalty yardage. Your Titans had 3 penalties for 15 yards, while Tell City had 4 penalties for 35. Looking at some of the individual stats, Brady Allen was 15 for 27, 175 yards and a touchdown. Rushing stats, Mitchell Spindler had 19 carries for 116 yards and 3 touchdowns. Ben Butler had 11 carries for 93 yards and a touchdown. Brady Allen had 4 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown. And there were some of those carries where I'm like, you know what? 8 games in, he's coming along nicely as a freshman.
Yeah, that long touchdown run, was really nice and a good read. And he did a really good job in the running game.
Then Tucker Bowes came in. He had 4 carries for 24 yards and a touchdown. Owen Bryant, the Energizer Bunny, had 2 carries for 23 yards. And Nathan Bowes had 1 carry for 8 yards. Too many Bows in the backfield, Coach. One of them's got to go to the line.
We'll work on that.
But now looking at the receiving stats, Dawson Witt, 5 receptions for 95 yards and a touchdown. Ben Butler had 7 receptions for 39 yards. Adam May with 2 big catches for 31 yards. Seth DeLong also had a reception for 10 yards. And I really thought Carter Green was going to get not only a reception but a touchdown there at the end. But he didn't end up with any, but I thought he was going to get one.
It was close.
But looking at the defensive side of things now for your Titan defense, leading the way, this guy's just everywhere on the defensive side, and I really love it when you bring in the, I call it the triple I, the heavy package, and Ploss is in there in the middle of it because he's just one tough kid. Mm-hmm. He's leading the way here in tackles. He had 8 tackles, 6 solo, 2 assists, 2 tackles for loss. Colton Stefanich in on 8 tackles. He had 5 solo, 3 assists, and 2 tackles for loss. Jacob Fireline with 8 tackles, 5 solo, 3 assists, and 1 tackle for loss. Cody Hupp had 3 solo and 5 assists, and Sterling Stocker had 3 solo and 3 assists. So again, there's 5 different guys there, and the list below that just comes down just below is long, hence why I'm not reading it.
Yeah, and I think this is probably was a tough game. We had a lot of guys getting to the football. I thought we swarmed to the football better in this game than we have all year. So I was really happy with our defense, our energy and effort on defense, and getting to the football.
All right, so with that, Coach, let's take a break here, and when we come back, we'll get your overall thoughts from game number 8 concerning the offense, defense, and special teams. But right now, we need to thank the folks that make the Nick Hart Show possible on 89.1 The Bash.
The Nick Hart Show is brought to you by South Gibson Grain, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, Sandy's Pizza, Rogers Bit Service LLC, Right to Bear Arms, Reinbrecht Homes, Progressive Health Rehabilitation and Orthopedic Associates, Pro Rehab, Princeton Auto Park, Pegram Concrete LLC, MyTech Systems, in loving memory of Zach Bailey, in memory of Darwin and Eric Callis, Eleanor Off-Road of Owensville, Kissel Farms Incorporated, and by Julia's School of Dance.
Imagine the possibilities. Earning your bachelor's degree without ever leaving Mount Carmel. A fantasy? Not at all. Right now, Wabash Valley College is partnering with Franklin University to offer bachelor's degrees in a growing list of programs without ever leaving home. Face-to-face, online, and blended courses. Now that's a game changer. We can help you find your tomorrow. Get started at iecc.edu.
Thank you for listening to 89.1 The Bash and the Nick Hart Show. All right, Coach, let's start with your thoughts of the offense from week number 8 against Tell City.
I thought for the most part we were very efficient on the offensive side. I think the one thing that I would ding the offense on, and it was some of the running backs, a little bit the offensive line, we got to do a better job of picking up the blitz and pass protection. Something that we'll be working really hard at this week in practice, and we'll talk more about Southridge, but they're going to blitz us. So it's something that we've got to get better at. Some of the times where we got off schedule and weren't able to finish drives, they got home on some blitzes and blitzes that we should have picked up. So I think that's the one area that I would ding us on Friday night. Other than that, I thought we did a really good job on offense. We put up a lot of points against a team that came in, only giving up 17 a game. We knew it was going to be a little bit tough sledding because they're pretty good on the defensive side. But I thought we did a great job offensively.
Well, speaking of that Tell City defense, especially against the run game, early on in the ball game, it was tough sledding for the running game. And then all of a sudden, as it moved on deeper and deeper into that first half of play, you could see that the seas started to part and give the running backs more opportunity to run in open holes.
Yeah, they're very stout up front, and we knew it was going to be, like I said, a little bit of tough sledding coming in, and our offensive line did a good job of continuing on it. And like you said, opened up some really big holes as the game went on.
Well, let's move over to the defensive side, where most likely, other than one play, which we didn't happen to be on air for, but and that's okay. But other than one play, I think the defense played outstanding.
Without a doubt, agree. Now we've got to get to the point where we're not having that one play. Because we had a chance to make it like a 7 or 8 yard gain instead of an 80-yard gain. But I agree with you. I was very happy with our defense. Like I said, I thought we got to the football very well. It was probably the most physical I think we've played defensively this year. I was really pleased with how we played up front. I thought our front three or front five, whatever you want to call it, did a great job against their rushing attack, and we were really physical at the point of attack.
Well, and then we go to the special teams again, where obviously when it comes to the place kicking game, not a problem whatsoever. But at the same time, punting game got out there, and I know you don't like to punt, but still had an occasion to do so, and got the opportunity to see your regular punter back out there, and Mitchell did a fine job, got a nice, beautiful high kick. I mean, that's something unusual about in high school football. Usually if somebody gets off a high kick, it's a short kick. Mm-hmm. But he got off a good, high, solid kick that allowed good coverage.
Yeah, he got one good one off, then we got the one blocked. I think we've only had one other one blocked.
Yeah, but I still say that was a penalty, and I'll still say it till I'm dead.
I think that's only the second one we've gotten blocked since I've been here. And so Bryce obviously did a great job on extra points and kickoffs and everything. And Mitchell hit the really good punt. We had a big kickoff return that set us up at the short field. But our kickoff coverage, I was not very pleased with our kickoff coverage, and obviously getting the punt blocked, that's a game changer if it's a tighter ball game. So we've got to do a much better job on special teams. I think our special teams have been really good throughout the year, but it was not our banner night for us in that department on Friday, and something we've got to get a lot better at moving forward.
Well, and how much does it play with the fact that they've got to get on a bus, and it's no excuse. I'm not trying to put excuses for anybody, but they got to get on a bus, and there's no good way to get to Tell City. I mean, I had to drive it clear from Allendale, Illinois, all the way down to Tell City, and it took me like half a day to get there. But how much does that play in the fact that, they get off the bus, they've been sitting on it for, I don't know what it took you, probably an hour and a half to get there by bus. How much does that play into it?
Maybe a little bit, but none. None.
I knew you were going to say none.
None's the correct answer. I thought we did. Obviously, we had a few miscues in special teams. We talked about some blitz pickup on offense, but I thought we did a great job of handling the trip and all of that. I thought we came out ready to play and play with a lot of energy. So I was proud of our kids for the way that they handled it. It became a longer trip. There was a wreck on the highway on the way there, and we had to kind of swerve around and go a different way. So it turned into a longer trip than it even would have been. And I did think our kids did a very good job of handling that, coming out ready to play football.
All right, Coach. Well, right now, we want to take some times to thank some of the supporters of the Nick Hart Show. And when we come back, we'll take a look around the Pocket Athletic Conference to wrap up week number 8 and get prepared for week number 9 as you are listening to the Nick Hart Show on 89.1 The Bash.
The Nick Hart Show is brought to you by Sin Energy Partners LLC, trapping and removal of animal pests, 10 Barge Seed, TYFL, Vertical Tile Incorporated, Hobb Range Hood Company, Ziliak Enterprises, Beatles Towing, First Bank of Princeton, Johnson Commercial Mowing, Make Your Mark, Mayflower Gardens and Gifts, Martin's Auto Service, Kathy Solomon Photography, Scheller's Carriage Inn, and by United Fidelity Bank. You love sports. You're your team's ultimate fan. Why not turn that passion into the ultimate career? Enroll now in the brand new Sports Marketing and Media program at Wabash Valley College. Learn how to use digital video and other media to add to the fan experience, how to engage fans on social media, and how to create excitement by hosting events and promotions. Get off the sidelines and into the game. Find out more about the WVC Sports Marketing and Media program online at www.iecc.edu or by phone at 618-262-8641.
Welcome back to the Nick Hart Show on 89.1 The Bash. I am Bob Bowser, and joining me is head coach of the Titans, Nick Hart. And, Coach, let's talk about the Pocket Athletic Conference and wrap up week number 8 scores here. Starting off, first of all, Boonville 48, South Spencer 14. South Spencer had been coming along, but they just ran into a 4A powerhouse in the southern part of the state.
Yeah, Boonville's having a terrific season. But I think you're right. I think South Spencer has come along very well and gotten a lot better from week 1 to where we're at right now.
Well, and then, of course, we already talked about your Titans defeating Tell City 57-12. Heritage Hills defeated Forest Park 46-0. And Heritage Hills is just playing good football all year long.
Yeah, they really are. They're very talented, very well coached, and just having a wonderful season.
And then North Posey defeated Tecumseh, and I was thankful to see the PAC finally gave it to Tecumseh a little bit. North Posey won 23-14, still a heck of a ball game.
Yeah, and a good win for North Posey, and got them back to 4-4, and just a good win for the conference.
Well, and then Southridge taking on Pike Central. Southridge wins 48-0. So Southridge now rolling into the Week 9 game that we'll talk about much later.
Yeah, and they got Tucker Shank back, who's obviously been a very good player for them over the years. He's been out since Week 1 and came back this week, just in time for us. So, it's good to see a kid that's worked really hard like him, that's a senior. You don't want to see any kids miss any time. So, I'm glad to see him back and healthy and able to, join his team back here for the end of the season and then a playoff run.
All right, so looking at the standings right now after 8 weeks of football, Heritage Hills on top. They're 6-0 in the conference, 8-0 overall. Your Titans are 5-1, 6-2 overall. Southridge is also 5-1 and 6-2 overall. North Posey is 3-3 in the conference, 4-4 overall. South Spencer is 2-4 in conference play, 2-6 overall. Tell City is 1-5, Forest Park's 1-5, and Pike Central is also 1-5 within conference play. So looking ahead to Friday, October 12th, are we finally going to have some weather that's going to be October weather?
It looks like it if you believe the weather people.
Well, that's about a 50-50 shot right now. So, but, I saw the same forecast looking midweek. We're finally going to get an opportunity to get down to some October weather. But Friday night, it's going to be an all-PAC affair. Pike Central at North Posey. I think North Posey is going to get themselves ready to go as they're going to roll into the playoff time again to take on Evansville Mater Dei. Yeah,
I think they're really starting to roll. They kind of went through a gauntlet of the schedule, starting to roll, play good football, starting to play some really good defense. If you kind of look at their scores, really starting to play well on the defensive side, and look for them to continue to roll.
Then it'll be South Spencer at Heritage Hills. Welcome to the jungle.
Yeah, like we talked about, I think South Spencer has gotten a lot better from the beginning of the year, but Heritage Hills is so good, and they're playing such good football right now. That's a big rivalry game, but I think Heritage Hills is just too good.
Then there's going to be Tell City at Forest Park, and I tell you what, this Tell City Ball Club, don't go to sleep on them. Matter of fact, I believe if I saw correctly on the pairings, they're going to be taking on a North Knox Ball Club, which would then get them into the second round of things. I think they could get that. But right now, they got to take on Forest Park in the week number 9 at Forest Park, and I think they'll get that one.
Yeah, I think their record, we kind of talked leading into the game last week, that their record's a little bit deceiving. They've dropped some, really close ball games, and Coach Clements is doing a really good job in his first year there.
All right, Coach. Well, one more segment to go, which means it's time to get the listeners ready for Friday night as your team prepares to host Southridge. But first, let's thank some of the underwriters of the Nick Hart Show on 89.1 The Bash.
The Nick Hart Show is brought to you by Ignite Heating and Air, Hilliard Lyons, Snap-on Tools Grant Bridens, Gerald and Trudy Bledsoe, Foster Construction, Fort Branch Dairy Queen, Emerson Cattle Company, Elite Insulation, Duke Energy, Du Bois County Garage Doors Incorporated, Daylight Land Management, Cox Family Eye Care PC, Chips, SellMyTees.com, Best One Tire, AgriGold, and by A&B Contracting LLC. Looking for a job in agriculture? Then Wabash Valley College is the place for you. We have courses that can help prepare students for careers in farms and other ag-related occupations, including ag sales, marketing, and mid-management positions at ag suppliers. Our programs have great instructors to help you get to where you want to be. For more information, call WVC today at 618-262-8641 or visit www.iecc.edu/WVC.
Welcome back to the Nick Hart Show right here on 89.1 The Bash, or you may be using the free app to access the show on your cell phone. So, Coach, Week 9, your Titans will take on Southridge on Friday at Jack Jewell Memorial Field at 6:30 p.m., and we will have all the action live on 89.1 The Bash, with pregame at 6:15 p.m. The Raiders will enter this contest with a record of 6-2 overall, 5-1 in conference play, and basically this is for second place and a chance to get rolling into the postseason.
Yeah, I think, more importantly than second place is to, continue rolling. I think we've played pretty well the past 2 weeks and continue to roll into the postseason and a chance to, get a win against a very quality opponent. I think it's a really big game for us in that regard. Southridge is really good. They've really improved throughout the year, and then like we talked about, they got Tucker Shank back this last week, and so that just makes them even better because that's a big deal for them. Not just offensively but defensively as well. He's a very, very good football player, and really makes them a lot better.
All right, so with Southridge coming in on Friday night, what do you expect to see from them offensively?
Well, offensively, they've always been based in the wing T. The past few years, they've done it out of the shotgun, and that really kind of creates another element because the quarter, in the old wing T, that you run the fly sweep and belly and all that stuff, and they still do all that. But now the quarterback is an added runner, when it goes out of the shotgun. So they're faking jet sweep and running belly with the quarterback. And they pick up an extra blocker with the fullback there. So I think one thing that you'll see is, their run-to-pass ratio is a lot higher on the pass side than it's probably been in past years. They have a sophomore quarterback, very talented kid, 6'5", very athletic. He runs the ball well. He throws it well. So they have a lot more they're a lot more involved in the passing game than maybe they have been in the past. In the past, I think it was a little bit more of a, we're going to catch you sleeping with some play action and take some shots, and they were very efficient at that, and they still do that. But now they have the ability to kind of play some pitch and catch as well. So that just kind of adds another dimension to them offensively that makes them, very difficult to defend.
All right, and let's go over to the defensive side. What do you expect to see from Southridge that will, on defensive side, kind of stifle your ball club potentially?
Well, on film, they've been mostly a four-man front. They've jumped into some 3-4 as well, and they've always played both of those against us in the past. So we'll prepare for both all week. The one thing they've always done to everybody, including us, is, if you're in the spread, they're going to kind of load the box and play man-to-man and get after you and make you throw the football to beat them. So we're going to have to be very efficient in the passing game. We're going to have to do a great job of picking up the blitzes because they will heat you up. They blitzed us a lot last year and would expect more of the same, come Friday night. So We got to do a good job as a coaching staff of getting some stuff to get the ball out quick and on time, and also we got to do a good job up front and with our backs in picking up the blitzes that they're going to throw at us.
All right, so let's go to special teams. What do you see from their kicking, punting, and return units?
They have a very good kicker, a lot of touchbacks. I don't recall them missing any extra points on film. He's got a really good leg. Same thing with the punter. They do a good job with all their coverage stuff. And you would expect that. They're very well coached, and so they're very sound in everything they do. But I think their kicker's a very good football player.
All right, so this is a ball club that last year went on to win the Class 2A state championship. Come in this year, they get a little banged up early on, but right now, as you mentioned, they got one of their star players back in the fold. They have a sophomore quarterback. Seems like they've got things rolling pretty well there at Southridge.
They do. I mean, if you look 2 weeks ago, they play Heritage Hills down the wire, lose by a touchdown. They got the ball down to, towards the end of the game, they got the ball down to like the 11, 12-yard line, with a chance to try and score and tie it up. So they are coming in. They're rolling. They're playing really good football, and I think both teams are wanting a win on Friday night to kind of catapult them into the playoffs, and be able to carry that momentum with them into the playoffs. And every time us and Southridge get together, it seems to be a heck of a ball game. So I think it'll be worth the $5 to come out and watch on Friday night, and we're excited about it. Because you get to play a great team, a team that's, very talented, very well coached. It's a great challenge for our football team.
All right, Coach. Well, that's week 9. I'm going to change gears on you here a little bit, and I know you're not going to allow your players to do this throughout this week, and they shouldn't, playing the quality of an opponent that they are playing with Southridge. But week 1 in the playoffs, everybody's already on a buzz about the drawings, no matter what class it is, Class 1A through 6A. But you guys drew at Washington in week 1 coming out of the Big 8.
I think I go on the soapbox every year as a coach. I wish they would release the playoffs pairings like the Saturday after your last regular season game. I mean, I understand why they do it to kind of get everything set up and all that. But as a coach, you want to keep your team focused. It's hard, I think, for kids to not look forward to that because the playoffs are such a big deal, and it's staring you right in the face. I think luckily to help keep their focus, we always have a very quality opponent week 9 that we got to take care of business on our end and not look forward to it. So, I don't know much about Washington. We kind of joked that would be the draw because, we've been here 7 years. We've never played them in the sectional. So we used to scrimmage them. That used to be our scrimmage opponent my first couple years here, but we've never played them in a game since I've been here. So I really and that was a different coaching staff whenever we used to scrimmage them. So I think we saw them on film, getting ready for Princeton. But that was about it, and that was a long time ago, and I wasn't really watching them. So I personally don't know much about them. We'll obviously get to work on them, after the Southridge game. But, it's an exciting time of the year because, the playoffs are such a big deal. But we obviously are focused on Southridge and trying to get a win on Friday night.
All right. Well, like I said, I was just going to briefly mention it because everybody's going to have a buzz about it, and they want to hear it talked about. But you know what? Next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, we'll have an opportunity to talk about the entire sectional 32 bracket, and we'll break things down from there. But yes, Southridge Friday night, 6:30 p.m. ball game at Jack Jewell, and then the following Friday night in the playoffs at Washington, and then we'll go from there after that. But how about your younger levels? How are things going with the younger levels right now?
Really good. Our freshman team is undefeated, 7-0. They beat a kind of a combo fresh soft team from Mount Vernon last Thursday night to go to 7-0. So they're having a wonderful year, and they play a really tough schedule. Kind of going all over the place. We've played a team from Kentucky, Illinois. We kind of play all over the place. They finish up with Heritage Hills and Jasper, so two other great programs, to finish out there. Our JV team lost to Mater Dei last week, 7-0. They fell to 4-3 on the year, and you talk about a tough schedule. We've kind of played about half the SIAC so far. Jasper coming up as well, and Southridge to finish out. So they've done a great job against a really difficult schedule as well.
All right, Coach, anything else that you would like to mention this week's show?
Friday night is senior night, so we're very excited to honor those guys and all the hard work they've put in the program the last 4 years. And I always think the best way to honor the seniors on senior night is to go out and get a W. So we got to have a great week of practice this week, to get ready for a very good team on Friday.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck on Friday, and we'll see you after the game on the post-game show. And best of luck to the players. We would like to thank all of you for joining us here on 89.1 The Bash for the Nick Hart Show. And be sure to catch us each week at 7 p.m. on Tuesday night for your look inside Gibson Southern Titans football. Before we sign off, though, we would like to thank all of the supporters of the Nick Hart Show on 89.1 The Bash.
The Nick Hart Show is a special sports presentation of 89.1 The Bash, made possible by the Gibson Southern Football Boosters and these sponsors: Ziliak Enterprises, Hobb Range Hood Company, Vertical Tile Incorporated, TYFL, 10 Barge Steve, Trapping and Removal of Animal Pest, Sin Energy Partners LLC, South Gibson Grain, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, Sandy's Pizza, Rogers Bit Service LLC, Right to Bear Arms, Reinbrecht Homes, Progressive Health Rehabilitation and Orthopedic Associates, Pro Rehab, Princeton Auto Park, Pegram Concrete LLC, MyTech Systems, L&R Off-Road of Owensville, Kissel Farms Incorporated, Julia's School of Dance, in memory of Darwin and Eric Callis, in loving memory of Zach Bailey, Ignite Heating and Air, Hilliard Lyons, Snap-on Tools, Grant Rydens, Gerald and Trudy Bledsoe, Foster Construction, Fort Branch Dairy Queen, Emerson Cattle Company, Elite Insulation, Duke Energy, Du Bois County Garage Doors Incorporated, Daylight Land Management, Cox Family Eye Care PC, Chips, SellMyTrees.com, Best One Tire, Agrigold, A&B Contracting LLC, United Fidelity Bank, Scheller's Carriage Inn, Kathy Solomon Photography, Martin's Auto Service, Mayflower Gardens and Gifts, Make Your Mark, Johnson Commercial Mowing, First Bank of Princeton, Beatles Towing, and by Wabash Valley College. The Gibson Southern Titans play here all season long on 89.1 The Bash.